Hey guys, it's Blizzterior Designer. I am so excited for housing. I wanted to react and respond to some of the recent housing videos, as well as give my own ideas and suggestions for housing. It looks cool so far, and I hope it continues to get even better. I have 4 ideas I want to share for housing today. After this video, if you want to go watch any of the videos I'll be referencing, I have them, as well as the channel names, down in the description. First off, from Zepla's WoW Realm, she mentions a neighborhood garden. She said, what if we could gather herbs exclusively for housing furniture and decor there? I love this idea, and I want to expand on that. The example she gives in her video was carrots. So let's imagine you go to a small garden area in your neighborhood, and you can pick some carrots, right? It doesn't give XP or profession level, but that's okay. However, now you could use those carrots to make maybe a basket of carrots or a bundle of carrots. How fun would that be? But I'm not done yet. Let's change gears a bit and say I picked a flower from my garden. I then go over to a different area in the neighborhood that looks a little bit more like a mine or a quarry. Somewhere in that area, they also have clay nodes I can gather. So I gather some clay. I use that clay to make a clay pot, and then I combine the flower I have with the pot and make a new decor item, a potted flower, right? A mechanic like this could very quickly get out of hand with all of the combinations if they added this. But I think it could be very limited at the start. Maybe there's only 3 or 4 plants that grow in your neighborhood garden at the beginning. Not all of them would need a pot variant, and not all of them would need to be in a bundle or anything like that. For those who are interested in housing, and especially crafting your own decor for your home, this would be so much fun, and it wouldn't affect anyone who doesn't like housing. There's no power or need for something like that. Just yesterday, I was gathering herbs and minerals in Kazalgar, and I got a bunch of the verdant seeds. I'm going to be honest, I never used them before. I always deleted them because I didn't understand what they did. But yesterday, I changed. I went to Halifal and I planted them, and they gave random herbs. What if in our neighborhood garden, we had a similar mechanic? Every time we plant something, it's completely random. It could be a fun idea. Maybe there are some rare plants or flowers. Honestly though, instead of an invincible version of a plant, I think I'd rather have some way to be able to breed flowers, like in Animal Crossing. Blizzard, I know this is asking a lot, but please consider it. I know you could make it super cool and crazy. Okay, idea number 2. Tally from Taliesin and Evitel had a fun idea for self-portraits, with maybe filters or something to make it look like it was a painting. I believe Dratnos mentioned a similar idea in his video, but then WoW Family Gaming reacted to his video and they shared their idea. I want to expand on that idea. What if we had some new way to get in-game screenshots that are saved in the game? And maybe we can only have like 5 or so saved at a time. So you can take a screenshot of your character or a favorite landscape or a picture of your guild as you kill the final boss of a raid. That's a fun idea, right? But there's more. You have your screenshot and it's the same aspect ratio as your screen or the gizmo that we use to take the photo. But then what if we could crop it or change the aspect ratio? Let's say there's 2 or 3 preset aspect ratios. So a portrait one, perfect for your character's portrait, a landscape one for wider shots, and then maybe a square or something. But I think this would allow so much customization and personality. And if you want a portrait of a certain character from the game, go find them. Go find Illidan or go find Lich King and take a screenshot of their face. Boom, you have them hanging over your bed now. Sweet dreams, Arthas. One last idea with this suggestion. Have a dyeable frame to go with each of the aspect ratios. That way people can pick the perfect frame for their own artworks. You know, like maybe just like a brown, a black, and a white or something like that. If we get this, I want to see a guild neighborhood with some kind of public hall with where they put up pictures of all the major moments from their guild, beating raids or mythic dungeons, or just anything they did as a guild. Imagine the things people could do with that. I think it would be so cool to see. Idea number 3. Soul from Soul Breezy and Tally mentioned this point separately. I'm going to mention both of them because they gave me this idea. Lights. Not camera or action, just lights. What if we could change them and control them? I'm talking about window lights. The housing team said they don't want the windows to change light with time because that could affect the moves that we're going to make, and they said they didn't think it was a good idea. I love that care and that attention to detail. However, what if we could click on our windows and we could choose from, say, 3 different lights or times? Daytime with full light, nighttime with moonlight, and then maybe like an in-between time with kind of a sunset or a sunrise with like a middle average light. I think that would be so much fun and could add to a different room's atmosphere. I know I want a moonlight mood for parts of my Alliance house. Okay, I saved the perhaps craziest idea for last. There was a lot of mention of dungeons in the basement, mazes and parkour puzzles, and even PvP arenas in all of the videos and in the interviews. They asked if there was any chance that we might be able to toggle whether we can get hurt in our homes or not, or toggle PvP. The housing team wants us to feel safe in our homes, which is like why I like the idea of a toggle of some kind, but they didn't say anything about our friends feeling safe when they visit. First part of this idea, what if we had an open flame or a bonfire decor item that could cause damage when you stand in it? Or maybe to take it further, we have traps, swinging blades, spikes, and dart traps. This would allow us to make dungeons and trials for our friends and neighbors. They could even be in PvP arenas made by players to add some randomness and challenge. I think that would be so cool, but there's more. There were hints and mention of having NPCs or alts as NPCs in your home. In Soul's video, he brought up that they're concerned about pathing for NPCs in their home if you can constantly change the decor and the furniture and the layout. How would their pathing work? Well, we control gravity and the very laws of physics in our homes. Why not the NPCs too? My idea, I believe, is simple. We have a specific item that can't be seen outside of build mode. It comes in two parts at its most basic concept. We place one point at the start spot, and we place the second point at the end spot. Now they can patrol between the 2 points. But what if we could toggle the mode? Maybe they go in a circle or a path around that line. Maybe they follow it very rigidly. Maybe they can even randomly patrol in a short range near it, kind of creating a random walking area. I also really like the idea of having some stand still. Like you assign them a spot and they just stand at attention. This could add a lot of interest to your home. But also, if you made a dungeon or something like that, it could add atmosphere. Make your alts look like guards and have them stand at doorways. Now, if this idea only worked for those niche situations, then I don't think they would implement it. But I'm not done. What if we use the same idea to assign our alts to sit in a specific chair or bench? You know, everybody sitting at the table in the dining area, or somebody sitting by the fire in a nice big armchair made out of dragon skin. We could tell an NPC to read a book forever or to browse a shelf endlessly. There's so much detail and personality we could add with control like this. I'm guessing this would require new tools and some development to be able to happen, but I really like this idea. Even if we had to wait another year or so for this function, then I think it would totally be worth it. I do have one more bonus idea. I know. I said 4. I lied. But this last one isn't a super unique idea, and it's small. I think everyone in their videos mentioned music. Can we control music in our homes? They asked about a jukebox or some item like that. I had an idea that would go with this, and would work with the other mentioned ideas. What if we had a few options for music range? Personally, I would like the jukebox to be smaller and easy to hide. I don't know the measurements of the housing yet at all, but maybe there's one that has a 1 yard range of music, and one that has like 20 yard range, and then maybe one that's like 40 yards or something really big that would cover like a whole room. I think that would give a lot of control over the home and the different atmospheres that people are going to want to create. Somehow there would have to be like priority. Maybe we could set that too. But I think if it just defaulted so the lower range boxes had more priority, that would work for every situation. Say you had a trophy room where in the entirety of the room it played one type of music, but then in one spot right in front of one of your favorite trophies, say Shattered Frostmourne on the wall, you stand right there and it plays the Arthas music from the cinematic trailer. Something like that I think would be really cool, and just in that one spot. And it would play over the other music. It would, just cut it out. That's what I mean by priority. Anyway, that was just a quick fun one. I'm very excited for housing. Please share your ideas below if you have any suggestions or new ideas that you think could be really cool. If you are interested in housing and housing news, please consider subscribing. I'll be back with more, and I'll see you next time.